Hey there, I wrote another blog, and I know some people like it when I just read the blog out loud, and so here we go. So this one is called How to Deal with Panic and Anxiety in 4 Steps. So because of what's happening in the world, or maybe because of something else happening in your life, you're feeling panic, fear, and anxiety. And many of us are not okay with that. We make negative feelings mean that something's gone wrong, we suffer, and suffering is a problem. So in our attempt to get away from negative emotions, we actually create more suffering for ourselves. So here's 3 ways we do that. The first one is we resist negative emotions. We try to ignore like that feeling of electricity running through your body, or tightness in your chest, or maybe a feeling of nausea in your stomach. So we resist feelings with comments like, I'm fine. We think that if we deny emotions, they're not really there. Maybe admitting I'm scared makes you feel weak. Maybe saying I'm worried in front of your kids leads you to think you're a bad parent. Panic and fear seem dangerous, whereas pretending the feelings don't exist seems safe. But it's like that kid of yours that keeps going, mom, 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 mommy, mom, mom. It's like that. Ignoring that kid doesn't shut her up. Resisting a negative emotion like anxiety is like holding a door shut. Anxiety is on the other side, pushing to get in. You notice the more you try to hold the door shut, the more anxious you feel. So that's the first thing that we do. We resist negative emotions. The next thing that we do, number 2, is we react to negative emotions. We feel scared and lash out by posting stuff on social media about what others should be doing. Maybe we feel frustrated and yell at our family. Maybe we feel worried and hoard food. Or maybe we sit and spin about how the world is going to hell in a handbasket, and those actions seem to be productive. But reacting to a negative emotion rarely has us acting the way that we want. Coming in at number 3, we avoid our negative emotions. And often avoiding emotions gets the thumbs up from our friends and family and society. We're encouraged to be happy instead of being sad. And we're encouraged to distract ourselves. Like, look at all the commercials for food, booze, and shopping. When I'm feeling anxious, Milano cookies and chips in front of the TV fills me up physically, and that dopamine hit is awesome. I'm happy, and that anxious buzzing goes away. For lots of us, it's alcohol, online shopping, porn, Netflix, countless hours on our phone, working long hours, cleaning, and exercise. But the food, the TV, the exercise, or whatever only provides temporary relief. Negative emotions will still be there half the time as long as you have a human brain. And we distract ourselves to our own demise. So, what to do instead of resisting, reacting, or avoiding negative emotions? So how do we stop adding suffering to our negative emotions? How can you feel better about feeling scared and panicked? This is a good question, since we're not taught any of this stuff most of the time, and we're not encouraged to allow negative emotions, but that's exactly what you need to do. Let yourself feel panic, fear, and anxiety, or whatever. So here's step 1. Let all those thoughts come out by creating the worst case scenario, right? COVID-19 at the top of the page, or maybe my partner said he bounced another check, or today I was talking to my mom on the phone and she said she wanted to die at least 4 times. You write whatever the circumstances at the top of the page. Then drain your brain. Write down all the things. So here's a bit from a COVID-19 worst case scenario brain drain. My mom dies alone in a nursing home and I can't say goodbye. My small business closes and I end up in bankruptcy. I can't pay my mortgage and I lose my house. I never reopen my business and I live hand to mouth for the rest of my life. I deplete my savings and we have to live in my parents' basement. I have to get rid of the dog because I can't afford her either. My kids are permanently scarred from this. We run out of food because the supply chain dries up. I can't go to the doctor for my chronic illness and it gets 10 times worse. The car gets repoed and I have to walk to my job digging ditches. I end up hating the world because nothing works out. That's step one. Write down the worst case scenario. Step two, feel the anxiety, feel the panic, or whatever negative emotions come up. And allowing emotions doesn't have to look like anything. You can literally sit on your couch, read what you wrote, and let yourself feel panic or fear or anger. You can just breathe it in. Imagine you're a fly on the wall watching yourself feel that emotion. Name it and let it in. Now, if it feels weird to do this, don't worry, it's just new. It's not something that we normally do. Letting yourself feel those negative emotions is the way out. You may have heard the saying, the best way out is always through. It's very true here. Then, to be fair, step three, flip the sheet of paper over and use the same circumstance to create a best case scenario. So if we're kind of flip-flopping the one that I did about COVID-19, here's what I came up with. Best case scenario. My mom is totally fine. In fact, she lives another 10 years. My business recovers so well that I make more money in 2021 than I ever have. The bank is lenient and I end up paying off my house 5 years early. I rebuild my savings and I pay for my parents' remodel for their basement. I create 100 new jobs in my business. My dog is by my side for all of it, and now I think I love her even more. My kids thrive through adversity and create exactly what they want. We have the amount of food that we need, and I cook for my elderly neighbors because I have so much. My chronic illness does just fine, and I'm back on track with all my meds. I sell my car and buy a Mercedes. I see all the beauty in the world, and I'm grateful I have such good friends and family. This step is so important. Give equal airtime to the best case scenario. Write it out. Put your human brain to work for you. And then finally, step four, look at what you wrote and let yourself feel that. Read the best case scenario and let yourself breathe in, feel that hope, the exhilaration, the safety, whatever positive feelings come up with your best case scenario. So here's what's going on. In the worst case scenario, your primitive brain is just trying to keep you alive by noticing all the shit out there that could kill you. But your primitive brain doesn't always serve your best interest. In the best case scenario, your human brain is up at bat. It's where you create, dream, and prosper. So one, let yourself create a worst case scenario. Two, feel all the negative stuff. Three, use that prefrontal cortex part of your human brain to discover the best case scenario. Then four, feel all the positive stuff. So you're basically opening yourself to the possibility that the best case scenario is just as true as the worst case scenario. Do this a few times a week. The 20 minutes you spend on this exercise will help you feel better for days. Practice this. You'll feel better. I guarantee it.